Hello everyone, myself Deepa Singh, working as assistant professor in Suresh Gyan Vihar University. Today we will discuss about absorption process. This topic is subject of biopharmaceutics and pharmacokinetics, sixth semester subject. In this biopharmaceutics, especially you know about ADME, what is absorption, distribution, elimination, and excretion, all this pharmacodynamic and pharmacokinetic parameter. So today we discuss about introduction about absorption and which mechanism is responsible for absorption and different factors affecting drug absorption. So let's start. In this first we know about basic object of this lecture or this topic. In this before starting this topic, we should know about what is drug and definition of a drug, route of drug administration, which route is used for drug absorption, administration of a drug, maybe intravascular or extravascular route. And other than this definition of absorption, what is absorption, different factors affecting drug absorption and different types of mechanism. Means there's different types of mechanism is responsible for absorption. So you should know about all this mechanism process that is responsible for drug absorption and which route you use for this particular drug injection or drug administration. All this know about in introduction of absorption. These are the learning objects. And in this first is definition of a drug or what is drug. A drug is injected, means you should inject by intravascular route or maybe extravascular route, and absorption is important intravascular or IB prerequisite step directly enter in the systemic circulation. Means you may be administered by intravascular route or maybe extravascular route. If you use some parenteral route like intravascular route, then your drug is directly reaches to systemic circulation. It don't show any first pass metabolism or first pass effect. When what you take drug by oral route, it show first pass effect because drug not directly goes in your systemic circulation. Majority of drug are administered by extravascular route, means mainly oral route, because this route is more compatible or more easy to anyone take by this route. Or other than this oral route, suppose parenteral route are more difficult, all person are not take easily by this route. So majority of drug administered by oral route or extravascular route. Such drug can be expert the pharmacological action only when they come in systemic circulation from the site of administration. When you administer the drug by a particular route, it don't should directly affect. First, it reaches into systemic circulation. After systemic circulation, with the help of blood, it reaches to site of administration or at particular site where effect is required. And next is definition of absorption. In this definition, you should know about what is absorption. Absorption is a process of movement of unchanged drug from site of administration to systemic circulation. Suppose you take any type of a drug and it after administration reaches to systemic circulation, but it's unchanged form, it don't change. This is known as absorption. The effectiveness of a drug can only assist by its concentration at site of action. The effect or response or particular concentration, how much drug is show response at particular size, all depend on how much drug you take or how much drug is available at particular site or site of action. And it is difficult to measure the drug concentration at such site. It's too much difficult, or you do not calculate how much drug is available at particular site. There's a different methods, maybe in vitro method or in vivo methods are used for this calculation of concentration of a drug, but it don't get accurate readings. And there are always correlation between the plasma concentration of a drug and therapeutic response. These correlation is always shown in all type of a drug. There's no similarity between plasma concentration and therapeutic response. There's a correlation between these two readings. This is a structure of cell membrane and their physiology. This cell membrane is responsible to permeation of a drug, any type of a drug. This cell membrane is made up with phospholipid. It is contain both hydrophilic and lipophilic nature, and phosphate molecules also. This membrane permeate or cross only limited drug, maybe small molecule or lipophilic drug easily penetrate, but hydrophilic drugs are not penetrate easily by this membrane. Next is cell membrane. In this description of cell membrane, separate living cell from non-living surrounding, and it's a very thin membrane, almost 3 nanometer. Thick control traffic in and out of the cell, selectivity permeable, allows some substance to cross more easily than other. It don't allow all type of a drug. There is some selectivity. It allow only more lipophilic drug, but less hydrophilic drug, maybe small molecule, or depending on the nature of the drug. Means all membrane, all drug are not cross this membrane. Made of phospholipid, protein, and other molecules. Means it's made of different types of molecule like phospholipid, protein, and other micromolecules. All these molecules are responsible for made of or formation of this lipid bilayer. And in this, protein determine membrane specific function. Cell membrane, organelles membrane, each have a unique collection of a protein, and this contain two parts. First is peripheral protein part or integral protein part. In peripheral protein part, loosely bound to the surface of the membrane. In this, it don't tightly bound with membrane, it loosely and easily detached by the particular membrane. Cell surface identify marker or contain antigen. There's a specific marker in peripheral protein, but integral part is show opposite. There's no markers. And second is integral protein. Integral protein penetrate lipid bilayer, usually across whole membrane, transmembrane protein, transport protein, channel, and peruse pumps. All these are the integrity or specialty of integral protein. This is a flow chart showing a drug administration after it reaches to particular site or in your body, including all mechanism. There's a different phases. In this phases, you may include pharmacokinetic and pharmacodynamic both parameters. Suppose first you take drug or administer drug, then it shows disintegration of a drug from or dissolution. Means after taking drug, it may be disintegrate, or after disintegration, it get dissolved, or maybe directly dissolved. After this, we start with pharmacokinetic parameter. Pharmacokinetic means absorption, distribution, metabolism, and excretion. In pharmacokinetic parameter, after dissolution, your drug get absorbed. And after absorption, it get distributed in your body. In distribution, there may be chances it accumulate or maybe metabolize, or after metabolism, it gets excrete, or maybe directly get excrete. This metabolism is reversible process. And after distribution, it reaches to active site where the pharmacological response is required. And in this active site, your pharmacodynamic parameter gets start. In this, after particular sites, it shows pharmacological effect. This pharmacological effect may be therapeutic effect or maybe toxic effect, because some drugs show more toxic effect. So after particular site or after therapeutic effect, it may show some amount of toxic effect. This is depend on concentration of a drug or which drug you use. So every drug have a different toxic effect or different limit of toxic effect. This is again flow chart. In this systemic process or how drug is reaches particular site and how elimination metabolism is takes place. In this, suppose you take drug and excipient. This is a formulation. You know about drug and excipients gets compressed or form the particular formulation. And in this drug in a dosage form, maybe in a tablet, capsule, or any other dosage form. And after this, suppose you take oral drug or oral administration, drug release to dissolution. And after dissolution, it gets in systemic circulation. Then extravascular tissue at the site of action, where the action is required. And then pharmacological response, toxic effect, or maybe therapeutic effect. Both response are shown by particular drug. In this, you can say that your drug or formulation step is known as pharmaceutics parameter. But in ADME known as pharmacokinetic, and after pharmacokinetic, there's a pharmacodynamic parameter. But overall, these three parameters you known as biopharmaceutics. Means definition of biopharmaceutics means it includes pharmaceutics parameter, pharmacokinetic, pharmacodynamic, all three parameters. These are the physiological factors affecting oral drug absorption or by oral route. First is passage of drug across the membrane. In this, active transport absorption, facilitated diffusion, passive diffusion, phagocytosis, pore transport factor, ion pair formation, and these another factors. In this, physiological factor, physical chemical factor, and formulation factor. These above are the mechanism or process in which drug get administered or show particular mechanism. And below there's a physicochemical factor. In physicochemical factor, there's various factors, maybe their nature, solubility, odor, taste, or any pH, pK. All these comes in physicochemical factors or physicochemical parameters. And physicochemical means nature of your drug and their solubility in particular solvent or in particular pH. Then formulation factor, not only physiological or physicochemical factor, but formulation factor is also responsible for drug absorption. In formulation factor may be compression time, compression machine, dyes and punches, or some insolubility parameter, or maybe some other foreign particles also affect your formulation. So these are the major type of factor affecting drug absorption, and further this type is divided in subcategory. In this mechanism of drug absorption is broadly divided into three categories: transcellular or intracellular. Transcellular is also known as intracellular transport, and this transcellular or intracellular again divided into two parts: active transport process or passive transport process. In passive transport process, it again divided into four subtypes: passive diffusion, co-transport, ion pair transport, facilitated or mediated diffusion. And active transport process is again divided into two parts: primary and secondary. And this secondary is again divided into two subparts. Import means co-transport, and second is antiport, counter transport, opposite to symport. And second type is paracellular, intracellular. Paracellular is also known as intracellular transport. It is again divided into two parts: permeation through tight junction of epithelial cell or persorption. These are the two types of paracellular transport. Third is vesicular or corpuscular transport or endocytosis. Endocytosis is also known as vesicular or corpuscular transport. It is also again divided into two parts: phagocytosis or phagocytosis. Now we discuss about this one by one. This is a normal figure or image of mechanism of transport. First, it's showing transcellular. In this, there's a passive or carrier mediated transport. Means drug is directly passed through this membrane or maybe with the help of some carrier. Second is paracellular. It transport between the cell and it directly cross this membrane. Third is vesicular. In vesicular, there's endocytosis mechanism is responsible for passing with this drug because there's some tight junction or endothelial cells. Next, this mechanism, first is transcellular intracellular transport. It is defined as the passage of a drug across the GI epithelium. In this, three steps are involved. First is permeation of a GI epithelial cell membrane, movement across the epithelial space, and permeation of lateral or basolateral membrane. Means in transcellular or intracellular, there's three main steps or major steps are responsible for this mechanism. It permeates through GI epithelial cell membrane directly, and movement is through intracellular space or by systole. It cross these membrane with the help of some intracellular space or any other molecules. Next is permeation of lateral or vasolateral membrane. In this mechanism or this absorption mechanism takes place with the help of lateral or basolateral membrane, and various transcellular process involved in the drug absorption are: first is passive transport process. These transcellular divided into another subcategory. We already discussed previous slide. In this, first is a passive transport process not require energy, further classified into following types. In this, passive transport means there's no energy is required for this mechanism or by this absorption mechanism. The subtypes is passive diffusion, co-transport, ion pair transport, facilitated or mediated diffusion. Now we discuss this individually. First is passive diffusion, also called as non-ionic diffusion. It is a major process of absorption, more than 90% of the drug. This passive diffusion is also known as non-ionic diffusion, and it's a major mechanism or major process of absorption of the drug. Almost 90% of the drug are shown by this process or maybe penetrated by this passive diffusion process. Remaining process are only involved by 10% drug. This is a major process. It is defined as a difference in the concentration on either side of the membrane. This is mainly defined how much drug present in both sides of the membrane. Means the difference between either side of the membrane. And passive diffusion is the best expressed by fixed first law of diffusion. This fixed first law of diffusion explain or tell how this passive diffusion takes place. This below equation, you can see that which states the drug molecule diffuse from position of higher concentration 1 to lower concentration until equilibrium is attained. And the rate of diffusion is directly proportional to concentration gradient across the membrane. Means in passive diffusion, your drug passes from higher concentration to lower concentration until equilibrium get achieved, or your drug get achieved by both side equal concentration. Means drug passes from higher to lower concentration. That's why no energy is required in passive diffusion. Equation is dq by dt is equals to dak m divided by w divided by h in bracket cgit minus c. In this equation, dq by dt is the rate of drug diffusion, means how much drug is diffused by this membrane or this process. And d is the diffusion concentration of the drug, how much drug diffuse through this membrane or by passive diffusion. A is the surface area of absorbing membrane, means how much long or how much surface area of this particular membrane. Km divided by W is the partition coefficient of the drug between the membrane and aqueous phase, means how much drug is available in particular aqueous phase or between the membrane or between both sides of the membrane. This is a ratio or maybe difference between both sides. CGIT minus C is the difference in the concentration of a drug in GI fluid and plasma. How much drug is present in GI fluid and in plasma? It's a difference. Means concentration of both in GIT as well as in your normal plasma. Next is H. H is the thickness of the membrane, how much thick or length of the membrane. Next type is pore transport. It is also convective transport, bulk flow or filtration. This pore transport is also known as convective transport or bulk flow, and the driving force is hydrostatic pressure or osmotic pressure different across the membrane. This is also responsible for hydrostatic pressure or osmotic pressure across the membrane. Means another name of pore transport is convective transport or bulk transport, or also known as a filtration. And driving force is hydrostatic pressure or maybe osmotic pressure across the membrane, means how much osmotic pressure create or present in particular membrane is known as pore transport. And the process is important in the absorption of low molecular weight less than 100 Dalton, generally water soluble drug, and a narrow aqueous filled channel, example urea, water and sugar. Means this pore transport is allow only small molecule particles less than 100 Dalton or water soluble drug or aqueous nature molecules like urea, water and sugar. Remaining large molecule or other than this type of molecule don't penetrate by pore transport mechanism. Next is chain-like linear compound of molecule weight up to 100 Dalton can be absorbed by filtration. If your drug are in a chain-like or linear compound molecule, weight up to 400 Dalton can absorb by filtration or by pore transport process. Means less than 100, but your molecule in chain-like or if you're in a linear structure or weight is up to 400, then easily absorbed by this filtration. And next is Dover permeation through water-filled channel is important in renal excretion, removal of a drug from cerebrospinal fluid, entry of the drug in the liver. This process is mainly responsible for renal excretion, removal of a drug from CSF or cerebrospinal fluid, or entry of drug into the liver. This process used for a specific drug, but your passive transport is majorly use all type of a drug up to it used 90% of drug by passive diffusion. But in pore transport, there's limited drug pass or there's a limitability of molecular size or nature of the drug. Next is ion pair transport. Absorption of a drug like quaternary ammonium compound, example as benzoconium chloride, benzothenium chloride, and sulfonic acid, and which ionize under all pH condition is ion pair transport. In this mechanism or by this process, only those drugs can cross this membrane, which is easily show or maybe penetrate by all pH condition. And in this class, mainly quaternary ammonium compounds are responsible. Example of drug like benzoconium chloride, benzothenium chloride, sulfonic acid. These all are shown by ion pair transport, and deposit their low oil in water partition coefficient value. Such agent penetrate the membrane by following reversible neutral complex with endogenous ion of GIT like mucin. Mucin is also absorbed by this ion pair transport. It reversibly form neutral complex. And in ion pair transport, your drug may be also form complex for permeation or easily penetrate by membrane. Such neutral complex are both required lipophilicity as well as aqueous solubility of passive diffusion, and phenomena is known as ion pair transport. That's why it is known as ion pair transport, because it have both types of nature, lipophilic as well as hydrophilic, and it forms complex or neutral molecule. So it easily transport or penetrate that particular membrane, and it also similar to passive diffusion. Propranolol is a basic drug that form an ion pair with oleic acid is absorbed by this mechanism. This is another drug, propranolol. It also show ion pair transport mechanism. Excuse me. Next is ion pair transport of cationic drug. In this, it's a flow chart or diagrammatic systematic representation of ion pair transport. In this, your drug or cationic drug form the complex with endogenous anions and form the complex neutral complex. Means both cationic and anionic molecules are present, and it gets form neutral complex, and this neutral complex perfuse or permeate this membrane and form the dissolution complex of this anionic and cationic molecule. And after this membrane, it goes in blood, and with the help of the systemic circulation, it reaches to systemic site before it gets break and form or release free drug, and it gets dissociate. This free drug goes in particular site with the help of blood and show specific therapeutic effect. And this is a systemic view of ion pair transport. Next is carrier-mediated transport. Some polar drug cross the membrane more readily than other predicted from concentration gradient, partition coefficient value like monosaccharides, amino acid, vitamin will also poorly absorb it. Some polar drug cross this membrane by carrier-mediated transport. In this, mainly monosaccharides, amino acids, vitamins, or poorly absorbed drug are responsible for in carrier-mediated transport. In carrier-mediated transport, one carrier is required for this membrane or crossing this membrane for absorption. In this mechanism is involved as carrier and bind reversibly or non-covalently with the soluble molecule to be transported. Means carrier is responsible which bind reversibly with your drug, and with the help of this carrier, it show penetration or this complex molecule goes in your blood, and with the help of blood it reaches to site or systemic circulation, and before it reaches systemic circulation or in particular site, it gets unbound or dissociate. Means in this process, major responsible molecule is carrier. Without carrier, this transport is not possible, and this carrier soluble complex transfer across the membrane to the other side, whereas dissociate and discharge the soluble molecule, and the carrier then return to its original site to complete the cycle by accepting a fresh molecule of a solute. Carrier in a membrane are protein, transport protein, and maybe enzyme or some other component of the membrane. Means first it form complex and it reaches to particular site or in a blood, then it get dissociate, and carrier gets released, and it again come back to the original site and again take another fresh molecule and form the complex, again reaches to circulation. This cycle continue until complete molecule gets reaches to particular site or maybe form the complex. This is the systemic is a structure specific drug having a structure similar to agential nutrients like false nutrients are also observed by this carrier system. This is a graph of passive diffusion and carrier mediated transport. You can see that passive diffusion show linear high release or absorption of the drug, but in carrier mediated there's a slight decline of your drug. And in this, one axis is rate of drug absorption, and another axis is concentration of a drug at absorption site. Next is facilitated diffusion. It is a carrier-mediated transport system that operates down the concentration gradient or downfill transport. Means in this facilitated diffusion is also known as downfill transport. This is also carrier-mediated transport, but much faster rate than accounted by simple passive diffusion. There's one advantages of this facilitated diffusion. It show more rapid or more diffusion than passive diffusion. The driving force is concentration gradient and passive diffusion process. There's no energy expenditure is involved. The process is not inhibited by metabolic poison that interferes with energy production. Means this facilitated diffusion is also not require any energy or don't require any other specific energy which helps or maybe penetrate the drug through this membrane. Means this is similar to somehow passive process. This is a diagrammatic way or presentation of facilitated diffusion. In this, vitamin B12 intrinsic factor plus carrier form the complex B12IF carrier complex, because it contains vitamin B12, intrinsic factor, and carrier. And this complex goes in your blood by crossing membrane. And when it goes in a blood, it gets dissociate and form free vitamin B12, and your carrier molecules again free and take another fresh molecule. But it's not reversible process. And when it goes in a blood, it gets dissociate. Your particular drug is available or go in a specific site and show therapeutic effect. Next is active transport process or second type. We already discussed all type of first type, passive transport. Second is active transport. And this transport require energy from ATP to move drug molecule from extracellular to intracellular villi. These are two types. In active transport, we do not require any energy. But in passive transport, we do not require any energy, but in active transport requires some ATP molecule or some energy to cross this membrane. And it is also divided into two types, primary active transport or secondary active transport. And this secondary active transport again divided into symport or antiport. And symport is also known as port transport, or antiport is known as counter transport. This transport mechanism require energy in form of ATP molecule. Means without energy or without ATP molecule, this cannot done, or active transport don't take place. Active transport mechanism further divided into two types, primary active transport and secondary active transport. In primary active transport, it is a process, there's a direct ATP requirement. Moreover, the process transfer only one ion or one molecule in a one direction, and hence called as unipolar. Absorption of a glucose is an example. Glucose show this primary active transport. In this transport, mainly ATP is required, and the process is only one molecule or one ion takes place. That is called as unipolar or single transport in one direction. Second type is secondary active transport. In secondary active transport, this process, there's no direct requirement of the ATP. It takes advantages of previously existing concentration gradient. The energy required in transporting an ion aid transport of another ion molecule, or co-transport or couple transport, either in the same direction or in opposite direction. Means in this secondary active transport, no energy or no ATP molecule is required. It used previously existing molecule or concentration gradient, and just transport through ion or particular molecule with the help of some another molecule or indirectly ATP molecule, and it goes in opposite direction, not in same direction. There may be some chances it go in same direction, but majorly it go in opposite direction. Hence it is further divided into two parts, symport and antiport. Means there's both possibility, it maybe goes in same direction or maybe opposite direction, but if it go in the same direction, it is known as co-transport. And in this involve movement of a both molecule in same direction, suppose sodium glucose importer. And in antiport, it is also known as counter transport, because in this movement of molecule in opposite direction, it don't show single direction molecule. Example is hydrogen ion using sodium gradient in the kidney. It's an example of antiport. And symport example is sodium glucose symporter. Means again, this active transport is divided into two parts, primary active transport and secondary active transport. And secondary active transport is further divided into two categories, symport and antiport. And symport is also known as co-transport, and antiport is known as counter transport. It is a diagrammatic way of this carrier mediated transport. In this membrane, drug, and it form complex, suppose drug and your carrier form the complex, and this is goes in your blood with the help of carrier and crossing the membrane. And when it reaches in the blood, it get dissociate, and your carrier gets free and take another fresh molecule. This is again all type mechanism diagram. Concentration gradient versus primary active transport, secondary active transport. In primarily, it shows single transport or in a single direction, but in secondary active transport, it shows uniport or maybe some biport. In this first symport or symport, there's both molecule in the same direction, or ATP molecule is required. And in second antiport, it goes in opposite direction. That's why it's known as antiport. And in this all three processes, the ATP molecule is involved, means ATP or some carrier is required for this process. Next is paracellular and intracellular transport, defined as a transport of a drug through junction between the GI epithelial cell. This pathway is a minor importance in the drug absorption. The two paracellular transport mechanisms involved in drug absorption are permeation through tight junction of epithelial cell, and next is persorption. Means this process, paracellular process, is also known as intracellular transport, and this is in this process the drug passes through tight junction or through epithelial tight junction cell, and permeation through tight junction of epithelial cell is the first type, and second is persorption. In permeation, this process basically occurs through opening with little bigger than the active pores, and compounds such as insulin, cardiac glycoside are taken by this mechanism. These are the example of permeation through tight junction. Means your drug passes through this tight junctions. Next is persorption, is a permeation of a drug through temporary opening form shading of a two neighboring epithelial cell in the lumen. And next type is, third type is vesicular or corpuscle transport. This is also known as endocytosis. In this process, mainly your absorption takes place with the help of some phagocytosis, phagocytosis process, or by showing endocytosis process. And like active transport, these are also energy dependent process, but involve transport of substance within the vesicle in the cell. Means this vesicular or corpuscle transport is also used some energy or some ATP molecule for transporting the membrane. And since the mechanism involved in transport across the cell membrane, and the process is also can be classified as transcellular, and it is also again divided into two types, phagocytosis and phagocytosis. The phenomena is responsible for cellular uptake of the macromolecule nutrients like factors starch, oil, soluble vitamins A, D, E, K, and water soluble vitamin B12, and drugs such as insulin. Means it majorly used for vitamins, maybe it's water soluble, maybe oil soluble, fats, maybe starch, or oil soluble vitamins like A, D, E, K vitamins, or water soluble majorly vitamin B12, or maybe insulin also penetrate by this mechanism or by this endocytosis mechanism. Another significance of such process is the drug is absorbed in the lymphatic circulation, thus bypassing first hepatic metabolism. In this, endocytosis is again also divided into two types, phagocytosis and phagocytosis. In phagocytosis means cell eating, absorption uptake of a solid particulars, and phagocytosis means cell drinking, uptake the fluid solute. Means eat means it get solid molecule or maybe permeate solid molecule. That's why it's known as cell eating or phagocytosis. But in phagocytosis, just opposite, in this cell drinking. Means in this fluid type molecules are takes place, or maybe fluid solute by phagocytosis. That's why it's known as cell drinking. This is the mechanism. GIT lumen macromolecule get permeate through membrane and process of entangling, and then there's a formation of vesicle or vacuole, and it gets reaches in blood. With the help of blood, with the help of systemic circulation, your drug passes a particular site or reaches to a particular site for showing effect or therapeutic effect. This is all about mechanism of absorption or different types of absorption mechanism. And these are the learning outcomes. After this complete topic or complete lecture, you should know about what is absorption. Means absorption is the process where when you take your drug and it reaches in systemic circulation, but the drug is in unchanged form, it don't change. And next is the mechanism process is responsible for absorption of particular drug. Means which mechanism is responsible for particular drug, or that particular drug permeate through which mechanism. We already discussed different type of mechanism: active transport, passive transport, carrier mediated, ion pair facilitated, and last one is endocytosis. And endocytosis is also divided into two types: phagocytosis and phagocytosis. Next is factors. In factor we don't discuss in a detail, but in next lecture we discuss, now we cover these factors affecting, but you should know about which major factor responsible for drug absorption. First factor is physicochemical factor, means pH, pKa, and odor, taste, all these are the factors, including physicochemical. Physicochemical means nature of solubility, partition coefficient all comes in. Physical chemical parameter. Next is formulation factor, means during formulation which factors are responsible for showing error or don't show proper absorption, or maybe some contamination, maybe machine also responsible, or excipients. All these come in formulation factors. Next is reference. For this topic or for biopharmaceutics, you use different types of book, but major book that I used is Biopharmaceutical and Clinical Pharmacokinetics by Milo Ghiberti, Biopharmaceutics and Pharmacokinetic by Robert and F. Notori, and Applied Biopharmaceutics and Pharmacokinetics, Kon Sagal and Edru BCYU. Next is fourth book is Biopharmaceutics and Pharmacokinetic at Trezi by D.M. Brahmankar and Sunil Jaiswal, Balla Prakashan, Pitampura, Delhi. This is a most important book. In this book, majorly all topics are covered and content is also good, but side by side, you also use another books. And next is Thomas Rosenkampf, Exer, Philadelphia, 1995. And next is Biopharmaceutical, Clinical Pharmacokinetic and Introduction, 4th edition, revised, expanded by Robert F. Notari, Marcel Decker, New York, Vessel, 1987. And last one is Remington Pharmaceutics Science. This is also good and best book, and by Mac Publishing Company, Pennsylvania. This is all book are good and sufficient for biopharmaceutics. If you require more matter, or then you can also use another book or make some videos. And next, question time. After this complete session, you should know about what you study or to clear your concept. So I covered some questions or quiz. And this first question is the main mechanism of most drug absorption in GI tract. Means major mechanism that responsible for absorption of drug. We discussed already this topic. First is active transport or carrier mediated diffusion. Second is filtration. Third is active endocytosis or exocytosis. And the last one is passive diffusion, known as lipid diffusion. So passive diffusion is mechanism or answer, which is correct, because 90% of a drug passes through this passive diffusion process. Next is what kind of substance cannot permeate by passive diffusion? Which molecule or which drug cannot permeate by this passive diffusion? In this, lipid soluble, non-ionized substance, hydrophilic substance, and last option is hydrophilic substance. So all type of molecule passes by this mechanism except hydrophilic substance. Or correct answer is D. Means all lipid soluble, non-ionized drug as well as hydrophobic substance passes by this passive diffusion except hydrophilic drug. Next, third question is hydrophilic medicinal agent has a following property. Suppose your drug is hydrophilic or in a water soluble nature, you should have a property low ability to permeate through the cell membrane. Lipid membrane through permeate through membrane by means of endocytosis, easy permeation through blood-brain barrier, highest option in renal tubule. So correct option is A, low ability to permeate through cell membrane of lipid, because it's in water soluble in nature. Water soluble in nature, less permeate or maybe no permeate through this membrane. Next, fourth question is what is implied by active transport? In this transport of a drug through membrane by means of diffusion, transport without energy consumption, transport against concentration gradient, engulf of a drug by cell membrane with new vesicle formation. Correct answer is transport against concentration gradient, because active transport passes by concentration gradient or against concentration gradient. Next, fifth question is what route of a drug administration lead to first pass effect? Oral, intramuscular, rectal, and intraduodenal. Already discussed that your extracellular show first pass effect, or it goes in a systemic circulation, but another route is not showing this effect, first pass effect. So answer is oral, A option. What is the correct characteristic of oral route? In this, first option is fast onset of effect, absorption depend on GI tract secretion, a drug reaches to blood directly, and sterilization of medicinal form is obligatory. Answer is absorption depend on GI tract secretion. This is also specific for only oral route. Next, seventh question is the feature of sublingual route is pretty fast absorption. Absorption is exposed to gastric excretion. A drug is exposed more permanent liver metabolism. A drug can be administered in variety of doses. Means in this question, you know about what is sublingual route and their specific function. You know that this sublingual route so fast effect or fast absorption rate because drug is directly goes in a systemic circulation. So answer is A, pretty fast absorption. Pick out the next eighth question is pick out the parental route of medicinal agent administration in this rectal route, oral route, sublingual route, and inhalational. All above ABC are the parental route, and this inhalational is all above are not parental route, but inhalational is a parental route because all are maybe extravascular route or some other route, but inhalational is come in parental route. So answer is inhalational or D option. Next, ninth question is parenteral administration. In this case, cannot be used in unconscious patient. General result in less accurate doses than oral administration. Usually produce a more rapid response than oral administration. It's too slow for emergency use. Parenteral administration is oral good, and compared to all type formulation, it shows fast effect. That's why answer is C. Usually produce a more rapid response than oral administration. Next, 10th question is what is characteristics of intramuscular route of the drug administration? First is only water soluble solution can be injected. D is oily solution can be injected. C is opportunity of hypertonic solution injection. And D is the action develops slower than oral administration. In this, you know about characteristics of intramuscular route or intramuscular administration. So only water solution can be injected. That's incorrect answer. Oily solution can be injected because intramuscular route is mainly used for oil solution or oily suspension or oily nature formulations. And next option is opportunity of hypertonic solution injection is also wrong answer. And the action develops slower than oral administration. It is also wrong, means intramuscular route is majorly used for oily solution, oily suspensions. This is all note or explanation of absorption or introduction part of the absorption. So in this lecture, just we overview. First, we take introduction of absorption. And next part, we covered different mechanism involved in absorption. Then factor affecting drug absorption and description of individual mechanism of drug absorption. In this major, we know that you're majorly 90% of a drug get absorbed by passive diffusion or passive process, and it do not require energy. And some another mechanism require energy or maybe require ATP molecule, or another mechanism see that carrier mediated transport. Carrier mediated transport also require carrier for transporting their drug at particular site or by crossing the membrane. And this is all about different mechanism. Next, we discuss different questions according to a topic and different reference. So thank you everyone for watching or listening this video or this lecture. Next lecture, we covered another topic of absorption. Thank you so much, everyone.